Ladies and gentlemen, we begin today's award by recognising exceptional achievements through the conferment of honorary degrees. The awards to be conferred today are to Edwina Dunn for her exceptional and outstanding contribution to the marketing industry, to gender equality, and to the encouragement of women in STEM. And to Clive Humby for his outstanding achievements and contribution to data science. I now invite our chairman, David Edmonds, to introduce them to you. And I invite Edwina and Clive to stand as he does so.
Clarissa, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the governors of the university sort of run it, the academics really run it. We set the budget, we do the strategy, we try and make sure that there is a basis of solidity within the university upon which it can build and which it can prosper going forward. It therefore gives me a great deal of pleasure today to introduce the two honorary doctorates to you all. It's very unusual, in my experience, for a husband-wife team to stand on the same platform. They actually met when they were working together many years ago, doing data science, and the rest is history. They went on to found an organisation that at its peak had 1,500 people, which they then sold on, moved. They told me earlier, well, we stopped working for a bit and we retired, but we didn't really like it, so we've gone back to work again. And blow me, they founded another company and they're doing something else, making another contribution to the economic welfare of the UK. For a university like Kingston, which is built on enterprise, which is built on attainment, but which is also built on diversity, which believes in helping people in different kinds of ways, the kind of systems and processes we have in the university, of which we are tremendously proud, the head start, the bridging of the attainment gap that we've made a great feature of this university. In a way, the two graduates today are embody what can actually be done if you set about with an idea, with a clear idea, and then you work to achieve it. So I think they're, in a way, it's a very common phenomenon for students at Kingston to go out and build their own business. It's not quite so usual for them to build a business as big and successful as the one that Edwina and Clive have built. They've helped the university in the past, they know our students, they've been here, they've cooperated with students, they've given them advice and encouragement. So it's an even greater pleasure for me to introduce them and to welcome them both today. Interestingly, again talking outside, given the fact that they've been this great partnership over so many years, neither of them has any idea what the other's going to say, which I suppose could be the basis either of a happy marriage or it could be the basis of a strong working relationship. One final remark I'd make, if I could, which is again very special to Kingston, the whole question of equality in diversity, in gender. Edwina's played a phenomenal role in developing, thinking about the role of women in business in the UK, played a very active part in encouraging work in that area, and it's therefore with a special pleasure that I make that reference today, because it gives her an even stronger, I think, commitment to or connection with this university of ours. So thank you very much both for coming today. Thank you for all that you've done both for the university and in the rest of your careers. And Pro-Vice-Chancellor, I think I have to do one at a time. So I have the honour to present Edwina Dunn to you for the conferment of the degree of Doctor of the University Honoris Causa.
It is with great pleasure that through the power vested in me as Pro-Vice-Chancellor of Kingston University, I award you, Edwina Dunn, the degree of Doctor of the University Honoris Causa in honour of your outstanding contribution to the marketing industry, to gender equality, and to the encouragement of women in STEM.
Pro-Vice-Chancellor, I have the honour to present Clive Humby to you for the conferment of the degree of Doctor of the University honoris causa.
It is with great pleasure and through the power vested in me as Pro-Vice-Chancellor of Kingston University that I award you, Clive Humby, the degree of Doctor of the University honoris causa in honour of your outstanding contribution to data science. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to greet former students whose achievements we celebrate today. My handshake is the public recognition of conferment of their hard-won degree, diploma, or certificate.
I'm waiting for the students to pair.
Speeches. Alternatively, they're going to make a speech.
Skipping ahead. Clive and Edwina, please.
Sorry, guys, you've got to wait 5 more minutes. It is a real privilege to be here today, especially to be recognized alongside my lifelong partner. We've been together 36 years, and we've had the privilege of building not one, but 2 great businesses. And we've always had a very special relationship with Kingston. As a child, my 2 heroes were Charles Darwin and Captain James Cook, and I just fantasized about those epic voyages in sailing ships around the world to uncharted territories. I wasn't quite that brave. I went to university and studied mathematics. And that was in the days when computers were horrendously expensive. When new people join our company, I sometimes remind them that the day I started work, the amount of storage that's in your iPhone would have cost $105 million, which is quite frightening. And one of the things that I found was that I still had a love of exploring, and because I did mathematics, I was fortunate enough to start to be able to understand people through data. Together at CACI, we were able to pioneer some of the early uses of using data to understand how people work and live, shop and behave. And we developed a system there called Acorn, which was extremely powerful. Edwina was responsible for a lot of the marketing of the business and working with a lot of the customers, and I was responsible for a lot of the algorithms and numbers behind it all. And I think the first lesson I would give all of you starting out on your careers is that actually finding a great partner, whether it's a business partner or in my case, very fortunately, a business partner and life partner, is immensely powerful, because actually the ability to work together and complement each other is hugely exciting. The other thing that I think I learned from those stories about James Cook and Charles Darwin was that actually it's about understanding the outer limits of how far you can go. And I think we've always been very fortunate to be able to work together on those very outer limits, applying computer algorithms to data that's never been used before, discovering new methods, new mathematical methods that we can apply to that, and helping businesses succeed. With Acorn, we help lots of retailers locate their stores, how to find new customers. And then we went on and took the brave step of launching our own business. We started in our back bedroom. We had 1 computer, a desk, a phone, and to make ourselves look immensely professional, we bought a franking machine so we didn't have to stick letters and put stamps on. But it worked. I don't know whether it was the franking machine. But it went on to create a business that attracted the eye of a small little retailer called Tesco. And they were experimenting with the idea of understanding their customers through a loyalty card. I would hope at least a third of you in the room have got the Tesco Clubcard in your pocket. And that was the thing that propelled us forward. And I think what was amazing is that through your daily behavior, it allowed the retailer to know what products to put in the stores, whether the price changes were working, whether new products were being successful. And we've always basically been very fortunate to work in that way. And then as our business started to expand and we went global, it was a massive, massive change. And Edwina was immensely powerful in basically saying, well, we've always worked well together. Let's put two people out in new markets. Let's find complementary skills. And we found those complementary skills and took them to new markets. And as has been said, when we left the business, we were in over 30 countries from Brazil all the way through to Vietnam. And we had 1,500 people around the world, all working with retailers doing something new. There are two lessons I take from that journey. The first one is from Charles Darwin. And it's important, he is often misquoted. It's important to remember what he said. He said, it's not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the fittest, but the one most adaptive to change. And if there's one lesson I could give all of you starting out on your careers today, is that the world will change. What you do today, the way you see the world, I'm sure Edwina will touch on the number of jobs that will be created in the future that simply do not exist today. And if we look back over our 30-odd years, the skills that we're now using are completely different. The graduates we're taking on have got completely different skills to those from many years ago. And the second quote I would leave you to think about is James Cook. He's not, there are very few quotes from James Cook. But I think it's a really interesting one, and again, I think it echoes what has already been said. And that is, always stretch yourself as far as you can to be the best you can possibly be. I had the ambition not just to go further than man had gone before, but to go as far as it was possible to go. And I would leave those two lessons with you. Things will change, and stretch yourself, because actually that is the only thing that limits your ambition. And I wish you all great success.
So, the great thing about this partnership of ours is that if you go second, often they steal all your best lines. But we have learnt to cope with that over the years. He is the man I met when I was 22 years old. I just graduated and I walked into my first job. And I remember seeing him thinking, ooh, what a really nice man. And then I found out he had a girlfriend, so I then spent the next year pining for him, and then eventually she left him. Oh. And I stepped in. So that was my beginning. It was my beginning. I didn't really go to work just to find a husband. No. I actually discovered that although I wasn't brilliant at school, although I didn't do brilliantly academically, when I started work, I found I absolutely loved it. And it's been one of the biggest joys of my life to actually know that working can be huge fun. It can be creative, it can be enjoyable. You can end up with knowing some of the best people ever. Trisha Harris over there worked with us right from the very beginning, and we are still friends today, and that is what work can mean if you love it. I'm also delighted my daughter's here today. She's a physics graduate, and I'm lucky enough that she has decided to become part of our data science team in our new business. Most exciting. So, yeah, I talk about a leadership style that's called the power of two. So instead of focusing on your weaknesses, you just find someone who has everything that you don't have, which for me was maths, computing, numeracy, and a hugely logical, creative mind. And the fact that we then worked together meant that we were stronger and better, and that's how we learned to run countries and put people into new markets where we'd never been before. It was very exciting. I think the thing that still amazes me is that when we tell people we've built a business and we sold it to Tesco and it became, something that ran in 30 countries all over the world, the wow doesn't come then. The wow comes when I say I'm still married to my husband after 36 years. So, you never know. What can I tell you about the business? The business was a very, very male-dominated business. We worked with retailers. And you don't find many women at the top of retailers. So when we retired, when we sold the business, I was really passionate about doing something that would help others to love what I had come to love. And the two things I learned from it was that we had, of the 1,500 people, 50% were females in the business. So 50% did extraordinarily well. So when technology companies say they can't grow a business with equal numbers of females in, I don't for one minute believe it. Women are fantastic at maths and physics. Women get better grades than boys in maths and physics. They just slightly underestimate their skills. And in doing so, they turn away from some of the jobs that are the highest paid and most creative. So the campaign that I started, Your Life campaign, was a 3-year campaign to encourage boys and girls, to take more maths and physics. In fact, the Treasury, after our campaign, awarded schools £600 more per maths student in every school in order to encourage that subject. I don't think we've achieved it yet, and one of the problems is that schools are still measured on grades rather than subjects, and I have petitioned that it becomes both sets of measurement. So if you are thinking about careers and you still don't know what you want to do, we created an app on Your Life, which was the name of the campaign, called Future Finder. It is the most modern app and it's free and you can download it. It's Your Life Future Finder. And we're going to showcase it on Martin Lewis in his ITV show. So you can be there ahead of everyone else. And we're also, it's going to be in the News Corps newspapers around GCSE A-level time. So do please look at that because you want to go for jobs that are growing and exciting and well paid, and they are all there. You just don't necessarily get that advice that is bang up to date, and that's what we've been able to do with this app. The second thing that David kindly mentioned was the fact that I started the Female Lead to create more diverse role models. I've brought you the book to show you. This is a book of 60 incredible, inspiring women, and there are films on every one of them and interviews. Why have we done this? Why do we need to do something that is about female role models? I think we know that girls don't automatically name heroes and role models that are alive. They'll mention maybe Marie Curie or Florence Nightingale, but they won't mention live female role models. They will, on social media, they'll follow fashion and celebrity almost exclusively. And, you know, when looking for inspiration, they'll mention their mothers and grandmothers, which is wonderful, but we want there to be more diversity. Boys, by contrast, seem to have it more nailed. They will name endless role models, often sports stars. And so they're off and have, we know from measuring social media, a much wider range of people that they will follow and be inspired by. So this book and the films we're gifting to schools. We're already in 4,000 schools across the country, and we're already reaching about 500,000 children. And what I'm really proud and excited to announce is that Kingston University is now helping us to prepare this introduction, this showcase to all universities, and we're working with both Kingston and Warwick University to do that. So in conclusion, I want to say that the female lead for me is to encourage girls to be all the things that they can be and be fulfilled by, because you can't be what you can't see. I'm really proud to be part of what you've created here at Kingston and how you inspire the next generation with your brilliant talent. So thank you for honouring me today. Thank you for honouring us today.